They poured fire on us from the sky. Chapter 5. Deng the Slave. Aleppo. One day in summer it rained heavily when no rain was expected. Deng, my cousin, who had left our village before I was born, returned that wet day with a young woman. Years earlier, during one of the attacks by the Mirahilian, people were killed and cattle stolen. Deng was taken away. Our people didn't know if he was alive or dead. When he came back to the village, old men and old women turned out to shower him with blessings. Everybody began crying, and their mouths were full of laughter. Some were so excited they even forgot to say hello to his wife. It is traditional in my culture for parents and elders to tell stories around the evening fire. Even though I have spent more than a decade without hearing these stories, I shall never forget the story Deng told the night he returned. The Mirahilian had thrown him on the back of a horse and took him to a faraway place where he was sold as a slave. His new master made Deng herd his cattle and do his housework with a stern warning. Any person caught escaping is killed in the presence of all eyes as an example. Deng grew weak and thin, and his dark, smooth skin became pale pink and cracked like sun-baked clay. But Deng was a light-hearted person and persevered even under that harsh treatment. In time, his master bought other slaves, and Deng was sold to a man named Mohammed Zubair, who was harsher still. Every slave who came into Zubair's hands endured hardship. Deng was made to bathe everybody in the family, wash their clothes, cook their meals, and clean their house as well as herd cattle. There was enough to eat for the family of Zubair, but there wasn't any food for Deng, or time to eat it. The slightest mistake provoked a severe whipping, but Zubair's daughter, Asunta, talked to Deng as he worked, and they grew close. The master's daughter saw that Deng was a strong, hard-working man. Her family knew nothing of this. Everyone else hated Deng. One skinny sister of Asunta's despised Deng like poison. When Asunta called Deng by his name, his sister interrupted, asking, "Why do you call him by his name?" "He is Kadam Asuwat, black slave." One day Deng escaped, but he was betrayed, tracked down and dragged back behind a horse, bruised and cut. The whole family, except Asunta, whipped him brutally to the point of death. Asunta's eyes welled up with tears as she saw the man she had come to love being beaten to death. She couldn't help because her assistants would have revealed their relationship, which was forbidden according to Muslim law. At the end of the beating, Zubair lifted Deng's head and looked into his eyes. "Will you ever escape again?" Deng was too weak to answer. "I will finish you tomorrow if you are still alive," Zubair said, and left Deng outside half dead, lying in a pool of blood. Asunta, although she had heard her father's evil words, slipped out of the house that night. She cleaned Deng's wounds and served him a cup of hot tea. He sipped slowly with relief. He opened his eyes a little and asked, "Who is this?" "I'm Asunta." "Why are you doing this for me? You're a Muslim girl. I'm a slave." "First, because I love you," she replied, her eyes downcast to the floor. "Second, because Allah said, 'Chala ikin nip mabath,' love one another." The following morning, Mohammed Zubair woke up with the intention of killing Deng and was surprised to see his daughter nursing him. "Asunta," he yelled, "what are you doing?" He thundered with anger like a regiment of drummers. "Da, cool down! Da, do you not know he's also God's creature? He shouldn't be treated harshly like this. Otherwise, Allah will punish us." Zubair slapped his daughter. "Stupid child, what do you know about this black man?" He angrily grabbed his sword and brandished it in the air like a branch in a storm. "Dad, if you do this," she said as tears rolled down her smooth cheeks, "I will run away and never be your daughter." Zebur's mouth fell open in astonishment, and he dropped the sword as if her words had stung him. He was quiet for a moment, glancing at the floor, before he mumbled, "Daughter, I changed my mind. I won't kill him, but he has to go a couple days without food for his punishment." Assunta ran to her father's arms and hugged him, tears of gratitude rolling down her smooth cheeks. Deng had to resume his usual hard work. Thoughts of escape mingled with fear, panic, and longing inside him until one bright day Assunta asked him, "Do you love me?" He answered yes, but there was a faint stammer in his voice. She jumped to her feet and paused to examine the uncertain expression on his face. Deng sighed deeply and collected his courage. He had made a decision, but fear kept him from expressing it. Assunta had an understanding of people, but doubts crowded her mind. She wondered whether this black man really loved her. "Deng, if you love me, then I have decided to escape, abandoning my parents and my entire family." Tears welled up in her sparkling eyes. "Why should you leave your family?" he asked. "Because I love you. I don't want to be apart from you." And so Assunta chose Deng to marry her, even though her father wanted her to marry a rich Muslim man. Deng promised to be her fiancé until death parted them. To seal their promise, he cut his skin and they licked blood as a sign that only in death would they break the relationship. Soon the idea of escape filled their minds. They tiptoed out arm in arm to brave the wolf whistles and jeers of Sudan's dangerous roads. After a long and wearying trip, they arrive home safely in Deng's village, to open arms and tears of joy. Although I was too young to understand all of it, this much of their story still sticks in the back of my mind. I remember the big celebration. Old men who knew the background of our tradition talked and shouted at the top of their voices. I guess they were calling God, thanking him with strong words. Everyone welcomed Deng and Assunta into the village. A fat bull was slaughtered, and we celebrated until the rains came again.